We're going to talk about ageism is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about a British actor's call for more women over 45 to appear on screen. I have a couple of questions about this, and it's mostly about in the context of storytelling and just what we consider interesting stories to tell. And then I want to talk about whether the writers we have today are capable of even doing this in the context of what they're talking about. So it says, more than 100 actors and public figures in the UK have put their names on an open letter calling for better on-screen representation of older women to help fight entrenched ageism of the entertainment industry. Thank you. Among the signatories are Keely Hawes, Leslie Manville, Richard E. Grant, David Tennant, Zaw Ashton, Mira Sayal, and Juliet Stevenson. It says, in the letter, the Acting Your Age campaign, that's very clever, said women in the UK only have a shelf life on screen while their male colleagues have a whole life. So the idea is that you're going to run out of time because we inherently kind of correlate beauty in females and beauty. So as you age, naturally, they believe that your screen presence diminishes. So they need to hire younger people to tell the stories they're looking to tell. So it says, the letter states, ageism targeting women is an entrenched industry staple that is outdated. Haith Acting Your Age campaign complains that women in the UK only have a shelf life on screen while their male colleagues have a whole life. Harmful, I'm assuming that means harmful, and neglects the millions of audience members who appreciate seeing women over 45 telling the stories of our lives. So my question is, in a world where now... thank you. In a world now where we've talked at length here, and we've talked about it on IRL, about how they don't want to tell women's stories. They want to tell men's stories with women doing men's roles. How do we expect...
Wait, can you repeat that?
Okay. They don't want to tell the story of women. They want to tell classically male stories, i.e. spy stories, superhero stories, things that are classically male in their origin, and make it about women.
Do you think that it has been tried in the reverse, where like they've tried to insert a male character into a traditionally feminine story?
That would be. Is that?
That would be an exception, not the rule.
I'm thinking like Nicholas Sparks movies are like those are just romance movies, but that's still the male doing the male role in the. I guess that would be. My guess would be if they did it, because Hollywood is so bankrupt with their creativity and their ability to tell stories, that I bet you it would almost entirely go humorous.
Listen,
they wouldn't be able to do it seriously.
Which kind of does like show their hand as to like how they maybe really feel about women.
Exactly. I do think there's a large amount of disdain for traditional female roles. And so I don't know if I buy that today's activist riddled Hollywood brand of writers would have the talent to write classic stories about women in their mid-40s and tell it in a way that would engage multiple audiences.
And there are so many like potential stories to be adapted into something like that they're not taking advantage of, and you have to ask why. There are all of these biopic movies coming out right now, and they're kind of like the thing to do right now. We've got like the Elvis one, the David Bowie one, and the Freddie Mercury one. I'm sure there are more in the works that I'm not thinking about.
The women just get the women just get the true crime stuff,
right?
Like
here's
inventing
how this woman
Anna
did something evil, which I love. But I'm just saying, if you wanted to make a movie that shows a spectacular story of like a woman being a hero in a traditionally female role, like that's not being shown.
There's a solution to all of this,
which is,
and it's rather simple, honestly. It's to stop hiring Meryl Streep for these roles.
Think of it. First one that came to mind, actually.
It's always her. She's
running everything. She's pulling all the strings.
Why is she every middle-aged woman?
Why though? Yeah.
For real.
So it says
don't ignore me, Brett.
I have no answer to your question.
He's been dying to talk about it.
Why? So who do we hire besides Meryl Streep?
Apparently, the 100 chicks that signed this.
So it says this is their it says recommendations, but remember when activist groups list recommendations depending on their cause, it can be pretty much a demand, like, ooh, you should probably do this or we might campaign against you. So it says all on-screen fictional content and light entertainment programs with male and female leads or presenters should have a 50-50 equal gender and age representation.
Wait, what would be a 50-50 age representation?
Your job as entertainers is to display a fictionalized version of the world at large. In the real world, look, we're in a room right now. 2 guys, 1 girl. Tomorrow, Hannah Claire will
women
be
are
here.
so underrepresented in this room right now.
Yeah.
I'm feeling very oppressed.
Whereas tomorrow, Hannah Claire will be in here. It will be 2 women and 1 guy. The real world is not a 50-50 split, and you cannot expect your weirdo belief systems to reflect that.
I don't even understand what a 50-50 age parity would be.
Every time there's a
over
25-year-old guy
40 and under 40,
There's so
you have
many
to have
ages.
half over 40 and half under 40.
Like, every
where
time
do you
they-
draw the line?
Are the babies
what's old
represented?
and what's young?
Every time they hire a new guy, they're like, oh, he's 27. We don't have any 27-year-old women. Damn it. And then they have to hire a 27-year-old woman to play a role opposite him. It's completely
This is
insane.
not tenable.
Writer, performer, dramas, and comedy commissioning to feature 50% age, 50-50 age and gender parity in programs, and for all broadcaster diversity initiatives to incorporate age. So they are really going all in on this idea of, all I can think about is just like, eventually you have to just accept, like, I am quite a bit older than I'm older than Dane by a couple years, and I'm older than Mary by quite a couple years. Mary once gave crap to me because I used a laughing while crying emoji rather than just the crying emoji, which is coded to me. Yes, the
emoji.
Dude, sometimes you just admit that you're getting old, guys. Sometimes
But you adapt and you learn.
I did. Well,
and
I
you
split it
grow
now.
and you're doing better.
I split it now. I do 1 laughing while crying emoji and 1 crying emoji because I don't want to give up my boomer roots. So it's like sometimes you just accept that age is a real thing and that the people you're hiring to write these stories don't have the skill to tell interesting stories about women in their 40s.
Also, like, this is just not, I don't think that this is a real problem. I think that they're making it up because, like, I mean, maybe not 45 plus, but there are plenty of actresses in their 30s, their mid 30s, who are often playing characters much younger than them. Also, even talking about people who play teenagers, they're always in their late 20s.
Yeah.
Late 20s.
I do want to point out that I have a couple of examples. Thank you. I have a couple of examples that I thought of right off the top of my head. They were American, so it's not 110% relevant. But Jerry Ryan from Star Trek and a whole host of other things, and Jennifer Beals are both in their late 40s, and Jennifer Beals is in her 50s, and they look, and they're gorgeous.
Yeah, here's this Margot Robbie, one of the biggest actresses right now, 31.
Yep.
Elizabeth Olsen, who was just in Doctor Strange, she's like 33.
I would say that women are hitting their peak now in their early 30s if their star power is there. But I did find this is American actor demographics, and this is again, this is not British, but this is fascinating how it says. So it says, I'll go up to the top here. Sorry, guys. There are 19,730 actors currently employed in the United States. And I just think about the idea of gender parity, and you look at how different some of these numbers are, and you think about how insane it would be to try and actually be like 50-50 down the line for everything. So 67%.
How would that help? Like even if it was like 50-50 across the board, like how would that help?
It would give people warm, fuzzy feelings of validation, nothing more, nothing less.
No, because then it'd be like, well, across the 50-50, actually the racial breakup was like blah blah blah. Like they'll always find a discrepancy, and then it's like, well, you picked people from this region and not this region. Like
you can go forever. That's the idea of the progressive stack. That's the idea of intersectionalism, and it's a slow walk to madness to try to implement that type of belief system into every aspect of human existence, especially something like this where it's supposed to be meritocratic. Acting should be, in theory, meritocratic, that the best person who is there to get the role gets the role. So it says 67% of actors are men, and then 32.5% women. So right there, if is the idea supposed to be that 50% of the women in shows are actors, even though only 30% of the people even doing the profession are women? We're using American statistics here, but I'm just saying, like is the idea that okay, so 59% of actors in America are white, 15% are Latino, African Americans make up 13.9%. The majority of actors are located in Los Angeles and New York. 23% are LGBTQ. So is that is the idea that
an over-representation? Yeah. It's like at some point, what are you gonna do? Just
exactly. So the idea is like.
Are you going to like force people to take a different career path if they are overrepresented in a certain industry?
And also, if you look at this YouGov study, which I think is really funny, it's like all of the majority of like the most famous actors are all older. They're all in like their 50s or 60s. Mm-hmm. So we've got Morgan Freeman, Samuel L. Jackson, Tom Hanks, Sean Connery, Julie Walters, Anthony Hopkins, Judi Dench. She's British. She's in her 70s or 80s. Robert De Niro, Helen Mirren, she's old. Sandra Bullock is on the older side.
I love she's old.
I'm not trying to be rude.
No, you're not.
Julia Roberts. I'm just saying that when you think about it, you have to work for a certain amount of time. Meryl Streep, she's right there, Dane, at number 18.
Mm-hmm. Monster. God, like
how excited are you? So you look at these are some of the most popular actors in the world, and I just listed the women here. It's really interesting to me. It's like you have to work for a certain amount of time to build up a reputation. So there is a certain amount, an argument to be made that women don't have the time to build up enough of a reputation before they start getting forcibly pushed out of the roles. But that's a victim of bad storytelling that doesn't know how to do anything other than superhero movies and generic spy knockoffs now.
In fairness, like every time they put like a relationship, it's like a 60-year-old fat guy with like a dime piece 28-year-old. Well, for some reason, like,
that's they're phasing that out. That's not as common as it used to be.
It's still pretty common.
What was her name from the show with Kevin James? The one Leah Remini, the one who was a Scientologist. Like Tom,
what is the show?
I don't remember what the name. King of Queens.
Uh-huh.
She was not even necessarily a large gap in age, but definitely a large gap in attractiveness, giving men everywhere a false sense of
more of a joke on him.
Yes,
than anything.
So I wonder is it possible that it's just sometimes your storytellers aren't doing their job and they're not telling interesting stories. So
I mean, they're not. Everything is like self-referential BS and like always following the same narrative, the same storylines. Like if you take a film class once, you pretty much know the end, the middle, and the beginning of every single movie.
Yep. So what would be an interesting story, I posit this question to you, about a woman in her mid-40s that would be translatable to film, that would be something that all audiences would enjoy?
Like a specific example?
Just a concept, a trope, an idea. It doesn't have to be a specific example. I'm saying, like, what would be a story you'd like to see told that you think would resonate with men and women, young and old?
I mean, I think there are like so many female historic figures
so you
who
think
played key
reality
roles in history that haven't been explored enough. Like royals. What if there were like high budget films about historic royals?
I wonder if they like put a stop to that. Like the families are just like, we would rather you did not make this movie.
There's a super popular like Netflix show about the Queen.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff does really well.
Okay.
Didn't they kill Diana in that one too? And they kind of insinuated it?
We might have to talk about that.
That was depicting like all before Diana.
That we might have to talk about that one, that theory in like the pop culture conspiracy. Guys, we've been talking about, we may be doing a bonus segment soon called pop culture conspiracy, where we try to do it like once in a while, where it's like talking about famous conspiracies in pop culture. The one you mentioned the other day was Brittany Murphy.
Yes.
Right. I talked about the one with the Munchkin in what do you call it? Wizard of Oz. There's a whole bunch of them. It would be fun to do a segment once in a while, detached from the show. If you guys would like to see that,
give us your ideas as well for the conspiracies you'd like us to cover.
Pop culture conspiracy specifically. Yes. So is there? So you think royals or famous figures?
I mean, I'm just saying that because biopics are the thing
right now
that are in right now. Yep. If you're not going to be able to create a fictional story of any value, then you might as well draw upon real events.
The example I was looking at earlier was it's not a good example of this, but it's like they did a Jennifer Garner movie called Peppermint, which is supposed to be like a dime store John Wick type movie. Or like Taken, like with Liam Neeson. But again, that's putting a female into a traditionally male role.
You're not like Black Widow.
Yes, but it's not a situation. So you're not telling a traditionally feminine story. You're just telling a story that would be traditionally masculine with a woman in the role.
What about Eleanor Roosevelt?
Okay.
Isn't that going to be? She's one of the first ladies in this.
The one with Michelle Obama, and
there are other ones. Yeah, I think that Eleanor Roosevelt is going to be one of the first ladies in that series.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't interest me. But like I said, it's very like spy stories or a superhero story may not appeal to all audiences on the on the surface, but men will always have daydream about saving the day. And a lot of women will daydream about being saved, or the idea of the idea is like on a crashing plane. The guy wants to be the one who stops the terrorist. The woman wants to be the one who saves the kids. There's traditional roles that we go in that I think do appeal to all audiences in the context of specific stories. Mm-hmm. I can't think of one off the top of my head. Perhaps I'm just not creative enough about a traditionally.
But I think that just speaks more to the fact that they haven't been engaging with these stories at all. That's why one doesn't come to mind.
So perhaps then this is no longer on. To be fair, it's not like they're saying that that's the audience's fault that they're doing this. They're holding the industry accountable here. So hold the writers accountable and find the right production crew to tell your own version of Top Gun with 60-year-old Tom Cruise and make it find whatever the female version of Top Gun is. I don't know what that is.
Sounds awful.
So it's like she's the queen of the knitting circle, and she's I have no idea.
I'm guessing Beyonce and Kim Kardashian eventually will get biopics too.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
How old is Lady Gaga? She's been doing a bunch of acting.
She's in her 40s.
Okay, well she's getting late 30s maybe. Somebody'd have to look that up. But she did what was it? House of Gucci this year.
Yes.
She also did what was the one with Bradley Cooper? The other one, the one A Star Is Born.
A Star Is Born.
So it's like there's stories to be told there. I just don't know if I buy that most of these people have the ability to tell those stories.
There is actually a biopic coming out about Madonna, which is weird. I feel like you shouldn't. Generally, you should avoid making a biopic about somebody who's still alive.
Well, they're not doing that anymore, man. They're rushing that stuff out now.
Yeah,
they're rushing that stuff. Hers is even
She's
a late.
dead inside. Does that make a difference?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, yeah, that would help.
Super chats. There were some super chats there.
Yes, there were. Caper2X says, as Top Gun encouraged entire generations of military pilots across the world, we hope Top Gun 2 does the same thing now. They're needed. #pilot shortage. I was not aware of this.
There was actually a recruiter at the movie theater when we went there. He was making popcorn. Oh yeah, Top Gun was like the top, like military recruitment in America went up by like 500% after Top Gun came out. So they had recruiters at the. I mean, whenever a superhero movie comes out, comic book shops open up tables at the theaters. Why wouldn't military recruiters come if kids are? And think about that: 45% share of people under 35 went to see Top Gun, and there's military recruiters there. I'm sure they cleaned up. I'm sure they made a good bit of growth there.
Crispy Leg Transport LLC sent 2. The second one was just correcting his typo. He said he meant to say, "I finally caught you guys live. I really like this show." Thank you.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
Clint Torres sent a cloud. A cloud emoji. A few cloud emojis raining. I don't know what the meaning of that could be.
He's making it rain.
Making it rain.
Is he?
He's making it rain.
Oh, okay. I get it.
And it does mean a lot when people, because like the thing is, like when I have to go through like and I'm editing and you look at all like the comments, which is like the Star Wars ones where people are like they write these essays about like everything you say
there was
wrong.
One that was super long.
So anytime people have something just generally nice to say, I'm just like, it is nice to know that people do like us. That's a good thing.
Keep being positive.
We appreciate it.
And Clint Torres also said, "All I gotta say about this topic is that there hasn't been enough Monica Bellucci representation for too long."
He is absolutely 110% right. I don't think she was in the new Matrix movie, so there does need to be more Monica Bellucci. I could see them bringing her back and fitting her into James Bond somehow. Make her the new M after Ralph Fiennes retires from the role of M. Make Monica Bellucci M, I say.
Someone said Madonna LMAO. It's just a tour of a sewage treatment plant.
Oh,
damn.
Brutal.
Wow.
What did she ever do to you?
Well, she released those Twitter and those Instagram things. That's what she did.
Yeah.
That's what she did to us. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.